Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey everyone, Snow here, Lightspeed Saber League, the world's fastest light-based fencing, and today on Friday Fundamentals I'm going to talk to you about the lunge. Now the lunge was made famous by traditional fencing, but due to the sheer weightlessness of a lightsaber and the relative lightweight of a traditional fencing weapon, the lunge is a powerful and critical movement to be used in real lightsaber fighting, and therefore in lightspeed saber fencing. Now, before we begin, I just want to remind you that we actually have other videos on stances and on linear footwork, and both of which are relevant to what we're doing today. Everything we're doing today will be built off of that information. So if you haven't reviewed those yet and had some practice in them, then please go do that before you do this. One other thing I want to let you know before we start is that there's actually a lot of different ways to do a lunge, some of which are safer than others, and by safe I mean safe for yourself. We're talking about risk of personal injury. And then some of them are also not really a good idea to try to teach you online in a video. So what we're going to do today is I'm not going to teach you the most effective way to do a lunge, but I will teach you the safest, simplest way to do a lunge so that you'll be able to teach it to yourself on your own without hurting yourself. And then once you're better at that, you can start to look up more resources for doing a more powerful, more effective lunge in the future. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Right. So we'll go back here so you can see my feet, and let's get into the standard stance. Right. So we're going to start by lifting the front toes. Okay. Then we're going to do a kick out. Right. It's like I'm kicking a ball. So I'm just going to kick out like so. Okay. So kick out so the leg is straight. Okay. Then we're going to do a fall forward. All right. So I'm going to lift the toes, kick out, and then fall forward about a foot worth onto my front heel. Okay. So I haven't put my toes down yet. Okay. Just so you can see the order that things happen, okay? So when you do your lunging step, you want to make sure your heel lands first, okay? So from here, we're going to go ahead and put the toes down, and as we do so, we're going to lean forward, shift our weight so that the knee rests just above the ankles, like so, okay? This is a pretty good lunge position from here, okay? So then I'm going to lift my toes up, push off the heel, and do a recovery, okay? And return back into standard stance, okay? So let's go through that process one more time. So I'm going to lift the toes up, I'm going to kick out, and then fall forward onto the front heel. Then I'm going to put the toes down, shift the weight forward so that the knee is directly over the ankles, and there's your lunge position, okay? And then let's do the recovery. So lift the toes, push off the heels, and return into standard stance, okay? All right, so let's break that apart into some of the key features so that if you were me, you'd be able to look down at yourself and check all the features that should be there for a successful lunge, okay? So back into standard stance, and I'm going to do a lunge, okay? Then I'm going to look down at myself and check, okay? What are all the features that should be there, okay? Number one, is my back straight? Yes, good, okay? Number two, is my back foot flat on the ground? Yes, okay? Number three, are my toes pointed straight forward? Yes, they are, okay? And number four, can I see the tips of my toes? Okay, this is a key one, right? Right now, I can see the tips of my toes, so that's good. But I'm going to go ahead and exaggerate my stance a little bit so that you can see what it's like to do a hyperextension, okay? In this case, you won't be able to see the tips of your toes, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and shift my weight forward, okay, until I can't see my toes anymore, all right? This is a hyperextended position, okay? That means I've allowed my knee to go too far past my ankles, okay? If you like this...
Hey everyone, just a quick correction on what I said in this video here. What you're seeing on screen is not necessarily a hyperextension. So consider the rule of thumb for being able to see the tips of your toes. That is meant to be a visual cue as to where exactly your knee is in space in relationship to your ankles. Just because you can't see your toes does not mean you are hyperextended. But if you can see your toes, then it's a good indication that your positioning is probably okay. So what I'm putting on the screen right now is an example of hyperextension. As you can see, the knee is as far up as the toes, so that is definitely not a good position to be in and will cause problems for you later with repeated action. So, all right, so back to the main part of the video.
Let's go ahead and do a recovery, so lift the toes and come back, all right? And let's go ahead and do the whole thing at a moderate speed, okay? So all in one go, here we go, lunge, like so, okay? And recover, and lunge, and recover, and lunge, and recover, okay? Let's go ahead and add an attack onto it, okay? Lunges are supposed to be fast and efficient, so let's add a fast, efficient attack onto this lunge, okay? So I'm gonna go start in a forward guard, like so, with a single grip, okay? And I'm just going to extend from here, like I'm punching someone, okay? I'm just going to extend straight forward, and then cut with my wrist and elbow, okay? Notice I am not doing any kind of charge up, like that, okay? It just extends straight forward, okay? Fast and efficient, just like the lunge itself, okay? So we'll add that onto the lunge, and so it looks like this, lunge and attack. Okay? Notice the attack arrives very close to the same time that the front foot lands. Okay? That's really, really important. Okay? If you attack too late, like this, okay? And remember, every time you attack, you're bringing yourself into range of your opponent's attack. So if your attack is late, your opponent will beat you to the punch, and you'll get killed. Okay? You don't want to attack too early either. Okay? Because if you do this, okay, that means you're cutting off your range. You're attacking long before you're even in range of your opponent. Okay, so always make sure that your attack is timed with the landing of your foot. Okay. All right. So now that we can do a basic lunge, let's learn about a few variations, and we're going to use the footwork that we learned in the linear footwork video to add on to the lunge. So we're going to use the measured advance, and we're going to use the gathered step to create the advanced lunge and the gathered lunge. Okay. So just a reminder, this was your measured advance, like so. Okay, and this was your gathering step, right? So let's go ahead and put them together. Let's do an advance and then lunge. Done together, it's an advanced lunge, like so. Okay. Now you can also do a gathered step and then a lunge. So here's the gather and then the lunge. Done together, it looks like this. Okay. Now there's plenty of other variations as well, but we won't go over them today. For now, work on the basic lunge. Practice it whenever you can, okay? It should work your glutes actually, so that's usually a good sign that you're doing it correctly. Remember the 4 safety points, okay, to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Lunge, then look at yourself and check everything that should be done correctly, okay? Make sure your back is straight, make sure the front foot is straight forward, make sure the back foot remains planted where it was, and make sure that you do not have a hyperextension on your knees, okay? So remember, you need to be able to see the tips of your toes, okay? So that's basically it. Good luck out there. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and we'll help you out as much as we can. This has been Cake Snow for Lightspeed Saber League. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Friday.
Oh, wait, right.
You have learned much, young one.
You'll find I'm full of surprises.